Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be all about some useful tips and hacks and information that'll help you out when you're sculpting with polymer clay. I've curated this list based off of what gets asked the most in my comment sections, but I'm also going to be including additional information and hacks that I personally use. I hope this helps somebody out. Now let's get straight into it. The first tip is going to cover the ways to keep your clay and your work surface clean. The first way to prevent yourself from getting extra dust and grime on your clay is putting a dash of rubbing alcohol on a paper towel and then wiping your hands off. Rubbing alcohol really comes in handy for needing to clean your clay. Then if you have some scrap clay, you can roll a ball with your hands and this just helps get off any excess. If your clay already has dirt on it, dip a Q-tip into some rubbing alcohol and gently wipe the surface of your clay in circular motions to get it off. The next tip involves the wonders of cornstarch. The first useful hack of cornstarch is that it helps with keeping your clay smooth as well as keeping it from being too tacky. If you have any fingerprints on your clay, just take some cornstarch and rub it gently onto the surface. It also helps with cutting things out. If you apply a layer of cornstarch on top of your clay, it makes it so much easier to cut out and prevents the clay from sticking to your cutter. If around the holidays you like making sugar cookies and you're using flour with your cookie cutting process, it's literally the same thing, just with polymer clay and cornstarch. The next one involves tool swapping. So maybe you don't have all of the fancy polymer clay tools, that's quite alright. If you don't have a scribe tool, use a tack or a safety pin. You just need something long, thin, and sharp. If you don't have a dotting tool, use the end of a bobby pin. And if you don't have a texturing tool, use aluminum foil. If you don't have a circle cutter, find a cap around your house and you can use that. Next is the topic of varnish and what to use and what to avoid. If you're unaware of what varnish is, it is a protective clear sealer you may brush on your clay after it's hardened, and you can either do a glossy finish or you can do a matte finish. There's also sometimes an option to do a satin finish. I would just avoid using Mod Podge and clear nail polish for this because after time, your clay is going to get tacky. This is a big no-no for me, especially if you plan on selling your handmade pieces. But varnishes I would say are pretty safe to use are Sculpey Gloss Glaze, Pearl X Varnish, Fimo Gloss Varnish, water-based polyurethane, and resin. Now, when it comes to polyurethane and resin, since it is a bit more harmful, you do need to wear some protective equipment, so please make sure to do some research. And most of the time you have to have proper ventilation. And next we have leaching polymer clay. So leaching is the process of removing excess oil from polymer clay. Basically you take two pieces of paper and sandwich them between your slab of clay. Put something heavy on top and check on your clay frequently to see if any oils are on the paper. Now you may mix the clay however you like. Please just make sure if you plan on leaching your clay just to do more research on it because sometimes it can harm your clay and sometimes it's perfectly fine. So just do some more research. The next hack is for if you don't have soft pastels and you want to shade your clay. So instead of using soft pastels, you can use an eyeshadow palette that maybe is older and you don't use anymore. Now obviously soft pastels is going to be a better option, but if you're on a budget, maybe this will work for you. The last tip ties back to aluminum foil, and it's for sculpting bigger objects and figures out of clay. To prevent the use of excess clay while you're sculpting a bigger project, just ball up a piece of aluminum foil and sculpt your clay around that. It is completely safe to put in the oven. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If this helped you guys, just let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!